Hey, Liverpool One Church life groups. Man, I am so glad that you have chosen to get connected into the bloodstream of the local church, which really is not only the gathering on a Sunday, but it's in a life group. That's where all the good stuff happens. We all grow in circles. We learn in rows, but we grow in circles. And that's what you guys are committed to. And man, I'm so grateful that you are a part of this thing, building it with us. We started a brand new series on Sunday, and it's called Saving the Nation. And that's because this Sunday, along with the next couple of weeks, we're going to be looking at all the nation words that we either need to employ in our life or avoid them. And the one that we looked at avoiding this Sunday was the nation word procrastination. Now, procrastination, some of us are prone to it, some of us a little bit less so. But what that is when you, in essence, you put off until tomorrow something that you should do today. And that creates a problem because when you get to tomorrow, guess what you do? You put it off again until tomorrow. And therefore you end up living in this period and timeline of just sheer inactivity. And yet what we know from scripture is this, is that God is always drawn to movement. It's a little bit like that principle that's recounted in Genesis. And I didn't really get it into my message on Sunday because we ran out of time. But there is this scripture and idea that when Abraham was leaving his family, he literally turned to Lot and was like, do you want to go right or do you want to go left? Because if you go right, then you can go left because I know God's going to bless me. Or I'll go left and you can go right because I know God's going to bless me. And when he left, he did not know where he was going. And yet when he chose to move, when he chose to action something that was going to be ahead of him, God then used that as a platform to implement his will in his life. So God is always drawn to movement. And it's very hard to have any movement if you're inactive because you are procrastinating. So first question, who in the room suffers from procrastination? Which one of you guys struggle with that whole inability to sometimes make a decision? Maybe you get a little bit overwhelmed with all the options and all the multiple choices that are out there. But when it comes to procrastinating, the scriptures are really clear about this. There are a few things that you shouldn't dilly-dally about in, and one of them is getting right with God. In fact, the writer of Hebrews puts it like this: see to it, brothers and sisters, that none of you has a sinful, unbelieving heart that turns away from the living God, but encourage one another daily, as long as it is called today, so that none of you may be hardened by sin's deceitfulness. In other words, don't put off doing what is right today. And maybe I think when it comes to procrastinating, some of us do have a tendency to do it. But I may be wondering, what is there that you can do to try and listen to God's will and God's voice and his leading in your life? Have you ever felt like you've been in a time and season where he's trying to convey to you his purpose? Maybe there's something that he wants you to say, somebody that he wants you to encourage, somebody that he wants you to pay their bill for in the shopping line, or there's something that he wants you to do, maybe apply for the job, maybe start the new career, maybe go back to college. Maybe there's something that you're just mindful of that you think might be God's will for your life, but you're just a little unsure. What are the steps that you can take? So this is my second question. What are the practical steps that you can take to try and make sure that in your fellowship of God, in your fellowship of Jesus, you don't end up procrastinating? Have a great night, guys. Love you. See you on Sunday for part 2 of Saving the Nation.